Hey everyone, welcome. Today we are diving deep into the unsung hero of our digital lives, the database. You're using them dozens, maybe even hundreds of times a day, and you probably don't even realize it. Seriously, they're the invisible backbone of pretty much everything, from your social media feed to your bank account. So let's pull back the curtain and actually see how these things work.
And it really all boils down to this one simple truth. Every single click, every photo you post, every online purchase, it's all data. We are generating an absolutely unbelievable amount of it every single second of every single day.
So that is the billion-dollar question, right? How do we stop this giant ocean of data from turning into just a tidal wave of digital chaos? Well, the answer, of course, is the database.
To really get a feel for what a database does for us, let's just take a quick trip back in time to the world before them. Just try to imagine running a modern business using, physical filing cabinets and a bunch of scattered digital documents. It was organized chaos, at best. And this slide just lays it out so clearly. On the left, you've got the old way. Think paper files, simple Word docs scattered everywhere. It's like, imagine a library, but for every book, there are 10 other copies floating around, and each one is a little bit different. And when you update one, the others stay the same. It's a total recipe for disaster. But on the right, you see the database solution. One central, single source of truth. It brings order, making sure your data is consistent, secure, and ready to go for anyone who needs it. Okay, so let's finally meet the hero of this story. Let's get right into it. What is a database, really?
So here's the official definition. But look, the most important word in that whole sentence is organized. A database isn't just a random pile of information. Nope, it's a carefully built system that's designed for pure efficiency. It's basically the difference between a messy junk drawer and a perfectly organized toolbox.
And this is a super important point that trips a lot of people up. If the database is the filing cabinet, the container holding all the stuff, then the DBMS is the librarian. It's the actual software, like MySQL or Oracle, that knows exactly how to find, add, update, and protect all the information that's tucked away inside that cabinet. No matter how big or small, every single database system has these four core pieces working together. You've got the users, that's us. We need the information. We interact with the DBMS software, which is kind of like the brain of the operation. That software then manages the actual data, which is all stored on physical hardware like servers. It's this constant, organized cycle of requests and information happening all the time.
All right, now that we've got the basics down, let's get into the two main flavors of databases you'll see out in the wild today. And this is where things start to get really interesting.
So this chart gives you a pretty good idea of where things stand right now. Relational databases, they're still the big dogs, no question, making up almost 3/4 of the market. But that other slice, the non-relational one, or no SQL, man, it is growing like crazy, mostly because of all the messy, massive data coming from social media, smart devices, and AI.
So what is a relational database? Honestly, the spreadsheet analogy is perfect. Everything has its own specific place in a super strict grid of rows and columns. It's built for data that's structured and predictable, data that has to be incredibly reliable. We're talking financial transactions, customer orders, that kind of thing.
And this right here, this is a perfect example. See how clean and predictable that is? Every employee has an ID and a name, and they're linked by these IDs to a specific department and manager. These predefined connections, these relationships between different tables, that is the secret sauce that makes this whole model so powerful and trustworthy for structured data. But what happens when your data isn't all neat and tidy? What about things like social media posts, pictures, or really complex user profiles? Well, that's where NoSQL swoops in to save the day. And the digital filing cabinet idea, it's perfect. Because it's flexible, right? You can just toss in a text document, a photo, a video. It doesn't try to force everything into the same rigid box.
Just look at this example. Instead of spreading all this information out across a bunch of different tables, all the info for one user, Sarah's profile, her posts, her likes, it's all just bundled together in one flexible document. You can just see how much cleaner that is than trying to cram a list of posts into one tiny spreadsheet cell. This model is built for the kind of complex, nested data we see all over the modern internet.
And here's the thing about NoSQL, which really stands for not only SQL. It's not just one specific type of database. It's more like a whole family of them, each with its own specialty. Document databases, which we just saw, are awesome for flexible stuff like user profiles. Key value stores, super fast for simple lookups. And graph databases are designed from the ground up to map out complex relationships, which makes them perfect for social networks or recommendation engines.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about the how. Let's switch gears and talk about the where. Where do you actually run into these things in your day-to-day life? Because I promise you, they are everywhere.
Just think about your day so far. Did you check your bank account this morning? Yep. A relational database made sure that transaction was secure and every single penny was accounted for. Did you scroll through Instagram? Well, a NoSQL database probably fired up all those posts and images, scaling up to handle millions of users all at once. Every time you shop online, book a doctor's appointment, or check your grades, there is a database working silently in the background, just making it all happen.
So if you take away one thing from all this, let it be this. Databases are the essential bridge. They are what turned that raw, chaotic mess of data into the secure, consistent, and super accessible information that we all depend on. They make our modern digital world possible. Simple as that.
And that kind of leaves us with this one big thought-provoking question, right? We've already gone from paper files to these incredibly complex NoSQL systems. So as our data gets even more massive and interconnected, thanks to things like AI and the Internet of Things, the evolution of the database isn't just some technical question anymore. It's really a question about how we're going to organize and make sense of the future itself.